I want to start with Coach of the Year. I picked Quinn Snyder. I had the Hawks as the 3 seed in the East, and typically it goes to a team that does far better than expectation coming into the season. Typically it goes to a coach that does far better than expectations. And I think the Hawks do that. I think they destroy their expectations this season, and they make the 3 seed.
So my Coach of the Year is Quinn Snyder as well. I just think this Hawks team is going to be amongst the top 3 to 5 offenses in basketball. They're going to be a top 4 seed, and Quinn Snyder is going to, deserve a lot of credit for that. I had a dark horse candidate. I don't know if you guys had a dark horse for Coach of the Year. My dark horse for Coach of the Year, real quick and simple, was Billy Donovan.
Okay.
Just went with a homer pick.
Sure.
The Bulls could easily, overperform this year, so you got to give it to Billy if they
Your
get a
dark
top
horse?
4 seed.
Yeah, I'll go my dark horse. It's Mark Daigneault.
He's actually the Vegas favorite to win the award.
No fucking
He's
way.
favored by Vegas to win it.
Well, now I just feel fucking stupid. He can't be my dark horse anymore. My dark horse is Adrian Griffin.
Sure.
He's probably like second.
Sure.
He's
whatever.
probably second.
I also have Quinn Snyder winning Coach of the Year.
Wow,
I just think
Quinn Snyder with the
Sweet
queen.
sweep.
Board.
Holy
I just
shit.
think the Hawks are like you said, the team that is most projected to overachieve in those like top 4
Yes.
spots. So I think that's a pretty easy recipe. My dark horse was Taylor Jenkins. Figured they get Ja back, go on a run.
It's a great pick.
Yeah.
It's a great pick.
Yeah, if the Grizzlies are able to maintain without Ja, then
Yeah.
Taylor Jenkins will get some serious consideration for that.
sure.
That's a great pick, actually.
Okay. So 6th man of the year. I'm gonna go with the newest Warrior.
Are we skipping Clutch Player of the Year?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't write
I don't
anything
do
down.
Clutch Player of the Year, bro. I'm sorry.
I didn't write anything
My
down.
6th man of the year is the newest Warrior. It's Chris Paul. I think he adds a whole new dynamic to the Warriors. My only fear is that he starts too many games to then become the 6th man of the year. But yeah, all in all, I think it's Chris Paul. I think he's gonna average like 12 and 8 off the bench, and that's gonna be enough to win it with his impact. And I'll give my dark horse. My dark horse, and I think Chris is gonna like this one. It's Jaden Hardy. The only reason I picked Jaden Hardy is because we saw last season in spurts that he's very capable of getting buckets. It was just he didn't get consistent enough minutes. Obviously, you have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, but behind those guys, who else is going to score for this team? And I think Jaden Hardy's going to step into that 6-man role and get his shots up in the second unit. So typically it'll go to a guy that ends up scoring a bunch of points. I didn't pick that with Chris Paul, but Jaden Hardy is the safe backup for me.
So my 6th man of the year is Eric Gordon. I think he fits exactly what the Suns want. We've seen Eric Gordon win the award before. I think he fits exactly what the Suns want to do, to the point of if one of their stars has to miss time, he could fill an expanded role. And also when he's just on the court with those guys, theoretically he's going to be on the court when one of those guys, particularly Beal or Booker, is on the bench. When Eric Gordon's on the court, the game plan isn't going to have to change, if that makes sense.
No,
Eric Gordon's a guy who could come in and just
against
get,
backups, he could
right.
come.
He's a guy who could come in and get even against some starters.
Yeah,
it's Eric Gordon,
he's a good player.
quality scorer.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have these guys in Bradley Beal and Devin Booker who are dynamic bucket getters. Eric Gordon's going to come in when those guys are on the bench and do exactly that, be a dynamic bucket getter. So I think the fit is so perfect, and the production will be there, and the team will be winning games. I think just everything's in his favor, and everything's lining up for Eric Gordon to win the award.
Excuse me.
My dark horse, I don't know if he's going to start or not. That's why he's a dark horse. But from what I've seen, it seems like he's not going to start, and it's going to be Alec Burks. So my dark horse is Jaden Ivey. I think Jaden Ivey could, provide a real spark off the bench for Detroit. Yeah, I don't know what the deal. I don't know what their starting lineup's going to be. They have so many potential combinations, so I don't know.
They do. Okay. I thought you were gonna say Alec Burks. I was like, whoa.
My 6th man is, I think, the favorite to win the award right now. It's Emmanuel Quickly. I think the Knicks need that production from him off the bench. They need a spark plug. They need him to come in and be more consistent. And I think if he can nail down some consistency, I think he might run away with the award. He does everything you need from a spark plug. He scores. He's a decent enough playmaker for a guy off the bench. Good enough defender. So, and my dark horse is his teammate, Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart is just another guy. Like, he
boy.
does everything you need. And if he can just get that scoring average up a little bit, I think he could really be in the
That
conversation.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like
Literally,
honestly, the way Andre Iguodala almost won six man
Yeah.
of the year is like the blueprint for Josh
yeah,
Hart.
he can do everything at a good enough level, you know?
Agreed. All right, on to Rookie of the Year. I feel like it should be a clean sweep, but it might not be.
I mean, do you all have Jarris Walker too?
I did, yeah. I have
Shout out
Victor
Jarris Walker, I
Wembanyama.
love him.
I didn't need to think twice about this one. I wasn't gonna overthink it. He looked like a dominant NBA player in the preseason from the jump, and I don't expect that to change. And then my dark horse, it's another Maverick. It's Derek Lively. He's gonna step into a starting role, and he likely could end up averaging a double-double for the entirety of the season and potentially with 2 blocks.
Like
So
Walker Kessler all over again?
yeah,
Kinda, yeah.
literally. A similar vein of Walker Kessler. I think Derek Lively is capable of doing that. So if he averages a double-double on a team that's winning some games with like a block and a half or 2 blocks, he's definitely going to be in the running.
For sure.
So my Rookie of the Year was obviously Victor. My dark horse, I don't know if he's that much of a dark horse, but it's Keontae George. You know, looked like one of the best players in the summer league. I loved him coming out of Baylor. He clearly did a lot of work to get healthy. He had a lot of ankle problems during his college season last year, but did a lot of work to get healthy and get back into shape from the time the college season ended to summer league time and training camp time. So I think Keontae George could play a really big role for the Utah Jazz.
My Rookie of the Year is also Victor Wembanyama. He's just
What a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, what I literally wrote, Wemby, what's understood doesn't need to be said. And my dark horse, I honestly feel like you could have put like Brandon Miller as your dark horse, and it really wouldn't have been because of how good Victor
Yeah.
Wembanyama is. But
Yeah.
I put Taylor Hendricks. I think he has all the that's a dark horse, but
Yeah,
I
he's
think he has.
probably not going to get that many minutes. That's
Yeah,
my
I don't know.
concern.
I just think my thought process was he's like physically, athletically, he has all the tools to be effective right away. And that Utah team, they're not going to be good. So maybe they throw him in there and, they see more than what they thought they were going to get for year one.
Yeah.
No,
sure.
Sleazy's like, I'm surprised you didn't say G.G. Jackson.
Nah. GG's gonna be in the fucking G League.
In the G. All right, here we go. Now on
But
to
we
the.
want him most improved one day, bro.
Now we on to the. I'd say the big 3 awards. Okay, next up, most improved. I said it in my hot takes. I don't really need to expand on it again. It's Austin Reeves. I think 22, 5 and 5 on 50, 40, 90 this season. And it'll be on the down ballot of All-Star voting. So I think that's more than enough to win most improved for Austin Reeves. And then my dark horse, the guy that just got a bag today, it's Jaden McDaniels. I think it's entirely possible that Jaden McDaniels can take a big-time jump too. Yeah, he just got a bag, should be motivated. This is a team that they need him to improve a whole bunch. I think he's got the potential to get up to 15 in that 15 to 18 point range while also being one of the best defenders in the entire NBA. So if he could even step it up a little bit higher than that with the scoring average, he will absolutely be in the conversation.
He got a bag. They believe in him enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I have Tyrese Maxey winning this award. I think he's just the obvious pick. I think, we all expect James Harden to get traded just based on usage and projected production increase. Tyrese Maxey theoretically should run away with this, but I have a whole fucking ballot of guys for this award.
he already had great numbers. That's my only issue.
I think they could get greater. What do you average? About 20?
22.
He could get up
22.
to, if Harden's not there, he could get up to 25, 26.
Okay.
So, and if they keep winning games and don't see a significant
drop off
in
yeah.
their record.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So my list of guys, another one's Cade Cunningham. My only gripe with Cade is he didn't play last year, so it's hard to
Yeah.
improve when you didn't do anything. Like what are you building off of? What are you improving on? You didn't do nothing.
Being on the
Yeah.
court.
Yeah. So
He's improving on
Cade's
being
just
on the
a guy
court.
who's going to be in the conversation. Then the rest of my ballot, Ochai Agbaji from the Utah Jazz. Thought he came alive last season. Clearly, Will Hardy isn't just going to throw his rookies out there. They got to earn it. He seemed to have earned it last year. I hope he starts the season with a starting job, but If not, I think by the end of the season, he will be the starting 2 guard and the 2 guard of the future. My next guy, another guy who just got paid, Josh Green. I think he has to be one of the more improved players in the NBA this year for the Mavericks to have a chance to be really successful. I mentioned it on the hot takes. I think Quentin Grimes is due for a significant increase in his production, especially his scoring output. And then another guy who I think it's tough with him. So I have Devin Vassell on my list.
Okay.
Thing with Devin Vassell is he did average 18 last year, so it's hard to build off that. But I think with Victor being there, he'll have so much more national attention to where if his jump is only 18 points per game to 20 points per game, it's amplified because of the national media.
Could also be his playmaking takes another
Right,
jump.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if just like overall the production increase is minimal compared to some other candidates, his candidacy might improve based on the fact that the national media is paying more attention to him, if that makes sense.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah, it's a good point. My most improved is also Maxey. I think, like you said, especially if Harden's gone, I think he can definitely run away with the award. The fact that he does have good numbers and his efficiency is so high, so that's obviously going to dip if he takes more shots. So, you know, people might look at that and not want to give it to him. But his skill set should be on full display. My dark horse was Baby Jokic, Alperen Şengün. I know we talked about the other day how he looked shitty in the preseason.
I don't take much stock in that.
Yeah, exactly. My only concern with that is you do have a lot of mouths to feed on that Houston offense, but if Şengün can kind of rise above the rest, and I think he's got a very unique skill set that's very highly valued in the NBA because of number 15
Especially
right there.
Given if he's doing something like that, the fact that we just watched Jokic dominate and have a playoff run like he did, it would give him more attention.
For sure.
So I agree with that one as well. All right. Moving on, here we go. The 2 biggest awards. Defensive Player of the Year. By the way, big caveat for some of this stuff. You have to play 65 games now to win an NBA award or make an All-NBA team. It didn't affect who I picked because I just wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
But that is a massive caveat to the new voting system and stuff like that. So my Defensive Player of the Year was Anthony Davis. I have 2 Lakers winning an award. Obviously, I said Austin Reeves before. Anthony Davis, he was incredible defensively in the playoffs last year, so I think the attention is going to be on him for him to have a similar type of impact on that side of the ball. He hasn't won one yet, and yet we still know him as one of the best defenders in the league. That also matters, so the narrative will be there, and I think that Anthony Davis has one of the most dominant defensive seasons we've seen, therefore winning the Defensive Player of the Year. And, oh wait, I got to get my dark horse. My dark horse, this is kind of crazy, but it's a dark horse for a reason. It's Victor Wembanyama in his rookie season. If somehow, some way, the Spurs become a good basketball team, and Victor is impacting the game the way we know he can on the defensive side of the ball, that's my dark horse Defensive Player of the Year.
It's a great pick. I like that. I think that's the definition of a dark horse because no one's betting on him to win that shit. But would it be that much of a surprise if he wins it? Probably not.
He was like, when I looked up the Vegas odds, he was like plus 2,000 probably, but he was like 6th or 7th on the list. But that's still a dark horse.
But not many people are throwing money on that. Of course, I can guarantee that.
No, that's still a dark horse.
Yeah. So my winner of the award is Giannis. I know we've seen Giannis win the award before, and that might impact this a little bit, but I think the Bucks' overall roster getting worse defensively is going to showcase how Giannis is a top 5 defense just by himself, just by existing. So I think Giannis's defensive versatility and impact is going to be on full display this year, and he's going to win the award. My dark horse is Herb Jones, man. Arguably the best point of attack defender in the NBA. Super long and athletic, active hands. So Herb Jones deserves some love.
My Defensive Player of the Year is Evan Mobley. And I think if Allen gets traded, I think it's damn near a lock. We know what Evan Mobley is. He can stretch out to the perimeter. He guards the rim better than almost anyone in the league. And the Cavs were a very good defense last season. And if he's the anchor of that, he's in the consideration already. My dark horse is Nick Claxton. I think he's just like a baby Evan Mobley.
It's a great pick.
He's just we talked about the Nets before and how their defense could be a really good defense if they take that, top 10-ish defense, like if they're up there, I think he can get some serious consideration for the award.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a great pick.
All right, and here we go, guys. The award. All right. This was very difficult for me. Or Sleazy,
It's a tough one.
you might love me for this one. I'm not going to lie. My MVP is Jason Tatum. This was tough for me. I was between Giannis. I was between Tatum. Luka definitely entered the conversation. Jokic, of course. How can you not? Even Joel Embiid back-to-back in a carry job. There was a lot of guys. Anthony Davis was one that I was thinking about giving the DPOY and MVP to, but I couldn't do it.
That'd be nuts.
And also, the 65 games actually came in a little bit for me here. So I was like, I know Tatum is going to be on the floor. He's consistently been on the floor. And I think he averages above 30 this year. I think his playmaking continues to take jumps. He'll probably have a bunch of rebounds. His statistical production will be there, and his efficiency continues to take jumps as well. So, yeah, I mean, JT, with the best team around him that he's had. So, Jason Tatum wins the MVP. My dark horse. Man, I love this guy so much, and I just give him so much credit. And I'm all on the OKC bandwagon this year. So it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's my dark horse MVP. I said in one of my bold predictions that the Thunder would be a top 5 seed. Didn't stand on that, but I said that Shai would be in the top, finish in the top 3 of MVP. If they end up in that top 5, Shai will most definitely be in the top 5-ish of MVP voting, and that's why I have him as my dark horse.
So my MVP is, it's the man, it's the myth, it's the legend. Had to run it back for the 3rd year in a row. This is going to be the year. It's fucking Luka Doncic. Hookah Doncic, some would say. El Matador, Cool Hand, The Don, Wonder
All
Just
the
reading
Boy,
all
nicknames.
basketball
El
reference.
Niño Maravilla, Swaggy L, Luka Legend.
Swaggy L.
Too easy, Luka Magic. It's a guy, man. They're going to jump from out of the play-in entirely to a top 4 seed. Luka's going to be the catalyst for that. He's going to show an ability to play off the ball and impact winning in ways we haven't seen before and be the clear-cut runaway MVP.
Dark horse.
Oh, my dark horse, for actually a lot of the same reasons, being a play-in team last year, jumping into the top 4 seed in your conference, having a top 5 offense in basketball. It's Trae Young, man. It's Trae freaking Young.
It's a good pick.
He's a guy who's
Thought about it,
going to
too.
be around that 30 and 10 range. If he does it on great efficiency, if he shows he could contribute to winning basketball, playing off the ball, being able to impact winning when the ball isn't in your hands and it's not just pound, shoot, pass, or whatever, being able to move off the ball. If he shows the ability to do that, there's no reason he shouldn't be in this conversation.
So my MVP, I wrote down Jokic because I was like, there's no way voter fatigue lasts 2 years, right? But I sat down here when we started this, and I was looking through, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change my MVP. So my MVP official pick is Jason Tatum as well. I really wanted to put him the first time around, and I was like, I just think it's Jokic. But I think Tatum goes crazy this year.
You could also see it being Jokic.
Of course,
though,
yeah, of
because
course,
of the
of course.
fact that they didn't give it to him last year.
My thing about Jokic was him and Luka are just the ideal recipe for an MVP. They put up great numbers. If they're on if they're on high seeded teams, they don't have
Or
a
even
ton
if
of
they carry.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of talent around them. But anyway, I'm going with Tatum. I just think the Celtics team around him is just his best chance to succeed. Not that he hasn't been successful, of course, but he could really average 30 and 7 and 5 or 6 assists. Like I could see him being around there
With stupid efficiency.
with crazy efficiency, elite defense. Tatum just does it all. And if he's the best player on the best team in the NBA is always in consideration for the MVP. I'm going with Jason Tatum. to win
Sleazy
it.
is so happy. In
Yeah,
the
he
chat
is.
Right now.
He's going
Bugging
crazy.
out right now.
He's going crazy.
Love it. And who's your dark horse, Tom?
Dark horse is Shea as well.
Let's go, boy.
Yeah. If the Thunder can somehow get a top like a 5 or 6 seed, he's going to be in there too. I mean, he was all NBA first team last year, so I could see it.
Okay.
All right, that's the NBA.
Wow.
That's
award,
the NBA,
man.
man.